Yu Menglong's secret girlfriend finally speaks. The truth no one was supposed to hear. For months, the internet had been asking one question. What really happened to Yu Menglong? Rumors spread like wildfire. Clips were analyzed frame by frame. Fans became detectives. But nothing, absolutely nothing, prepared the world for what happened next. Because just when the mystery seemed to fade, someone stepped forward. Not a journalist, not a friend, not a co-star, but someone no one even knew existed. His secret girlfriend. And what she revealed, it didn't just shock fans. Changed everything. She didn't appear on camera immediately. First it was just a voice. Distorted. Shaking. Almost breaking. I've been silent for too long, but if I don't speak now, the truth will disappear forever. The video, uploaded at exactly 2:17 a.m., started gaining traction slowly. Then suddenly, it exploded. Within hours millions had watched it. Because she wasn't just telling a story. She was revealing secrets. According to her, their relationship was never public for one reason. He told me some people were watching him. First she thought it was paranoia. You know how celebrities are. Pressure, stress, rumors. But then she noticed things. Strange calls. Unfamiliar cars. Messages that would disappear. He once told me, if anything happens to me, don't trust what they say. At the time she laughed it off. Now, she says that moment haunts her every night. She described one night in detail. A night that fans are now calling the 2 a.m. incident. According to her, Yu Menglong had been acting different that day. Quiet. Distracted. Constantly checking his phone. Then suddenly he said something chilling. I think they're finally making their move. Before she could even respond, he left. No explanation. No destination. Just gone. That was the last time she saw him. Days later she received something. An anonymous file. No sender. No message. Just a video. And what was inside? She claims it showed Yu Menglong sitting in a dim room, speaking directly to the camera. But here's the disturbing part. He looked terrified. If you're watching this, it means I didn't make it out. He talked about pressure, secrets, and things he wasn't supposed to know. Then suddenly, the video cuts. No ending. No explanation. Just silence. After the video went viral, fans began analyzing everything. And that's when things got even stranger. People started noticing patterns. Repeated symbols in his old posts. Lyrics and songs he shared that suddenly felt different. Interviews where his words now seemed like hidden messages. One fan even claimed, he was trying to tell us all along, we just didn't see it. Within 48 hours, the internet split into two sides. Believers. They think the girlfriend is telling the truth. They believe Yu Menglong was involved in something deeper. He tried to warn people. The truth is being covered up. Skeptics. They say, the video is staged. The story is fabricated. It's all for attention. But here's the problem. No one has been able to prove either side. Then came the twist no one expected. In the background of the confession video, viewers noticed something. A reflection. Barely visible. But when enhanced, it looked like someone else was in the room. Watching. Waiting. Not moving. The moment the confession video vanished, everything changed. First, people thought it was just a glitch. Maybe the account got taken down. Maybe she deleted it out of fear. But then something strange happened. Every re-upload started disappearing too. Clips on social media. Reaction videos. Removed. Even screenshots began getting flagged. It was as if someone didn't want this story to exist. Just when it seemed like the entire confession had been wiped off the internet, a user on a small forum made a post. No profile picture. No history. No explanation. Just one sentence. You're all looking in the wrong place. Attached to it. File. Unlike the original video, this one was longer. And what it showed. made the first confession look like nothing. The video begins the same way. Yu Menglong sitting in that dimly lit room. But this time, the camera angle is wider. And that's when viewers noticed something terrifying. He wasn't alone. In the far corner of the room, barely visible, there's a figure. Silent. Watching. Not moving. Not speaking. Just there. At first, people thought it was a trick of the light. But when the brightness was increased, the outline became clearer. Person. Standing. Facing him. Yu Menglong's voice in the extended clip was different. More urgent. More desperate. If this gets out, they'll know I talked. Pauses. Looks slightly to his left, toward the shadow. Then continues. There are things happening behind the scenes. Things people would never believe. And then, he says a name. But here's the terrifying part. The audio cuts out at that exact moment. Not distorted. Not unclear. Completely muted. Some users tried restoring the audio. Enhancing frequencies. Running AI tools. Slowing it down. And a few claimed they heard something. Different people reported different names. But one thing remained consistent. Whoever he named was powerful. Just when the internet was spiraling out of control, another message appeared. This time not a video, just text, posted anonymously. You saw it, didn't you? The part they tried to hide. The message continued. He knew he was being watched. That's why he never said everything out loud. Then one final line. Check the reflection again. Viewers went back to the video, paused it, zoomed in, analyzed every frame. And that's when they saw it. In a reflective surface behind Yu Menglong. The shadow wasn't standing still. Moved. Slightly. Just enough to confirm one thing. It wasn't part of the room. A new theory began trending almost immediately. If the person in the room wasn't just watching, but controlling what he said. Think about it. The missing audio. The nervous pauses. The way he kept glancing sideways. It started to feel less like a message, and more like a warning under pressure. A user claimed to have found something even more disturbing. Not in the video, but in Yu Menglong's old content. They pointed out a clip from an interview months earlier. In it he laughs and says, "Sometimes the scariest thing isn't being alone. It's knowing you're not." At the time it meant nothing. Now, it sent chills across the entire internet. People who were actively sharing theories began reporting strange things. Accounts getting locked. Posts disappearing. Comments being removed. Some even claimed they received warnings. No sender. No explanation. Just messages like, "Stop digging." 4 days. The internet obsessed over one moment. The missing name. The exact second where Yu Menglong tried to say something. And the audio cut out completely. It wasn't random. It wasn't a glitch. It was too perfect. Almost like it was removed on purpose. Then, a small group of users did something different. Instead of enhancing the audio directly, they analyzed the waveform pattern. What they found shocked everyone. Even though the sound was muted, the shape of the waveform was still there. Which meant one thing. The audio wasn't destroyed. It was just hidden. Using advanced tools, they began reconstructing the missing sound. Piece by piece. Frame by frame. Until finally, a faint voice started to emerge. Distorted. Cracked. Barely human. But audible. And when they cleaned it up, a name could be heard. The clip spread like wildfire. Millions listened. Over and over again. Trying to hear it clearly. Some said it was unclear. Others were certain. But one interpretation started trending more than any other. Single name. Repeated across forums, comments, and videos. He said, "They're behind it." Not a person. Not a celebrity. Not someone you could easily point to. But something bigger. They. First, people were disappointed. They expected a shocking reveal. Famous figure. A known enemy. Clear answer. But what they got instead was worse. because they could mean anything. A group, an organization, a something hidden in plain sight. And suddenly, the mystery became much larger. As people dug deeper, they began noticing something strange. Every time Yu Menglong spoke publicly, there were moments where he hesitated. Tiny pauses, quick glances, half-finished sentences. First it seemed normal, but now, it looked like someone trying to say something, without actually saying it. Then came another discovery. A fan reversed one of his old video clips, just out of curiosity. But what they heard sent chills through everyone who listened. A faint whisper. Not safe. 2 words. Hidden in reverse audio. Never meant to be obvious. Remember the room in the video. The dim lighting. The plain walls. The single chair. Someone decided to analyze it. Not casually, but seriously. They matched. Wall textures. Lighting angles. Furniture style. And after hours of searching, they found something. A location that looked almost identical. An unused studio space. Rarely booked. Poorly documented. Almost like it existed, without anyone paying attention to it. When they cross-referenced the timeline, it matched perfectly with the night of the 2 a.m. incident, which raised a terrifying possibility. What if that video was recorded somewhere no one would think to check? Just when everything felt like it was spiraling out of control, it came back. One last time. A short audio message. No visuals. Just her voice. Quieter than before. More careful. You're getting close. But you still don't understand. He pauses. Then says something that changes everything. He didn't say they, because he didn't know who. He said it because he knew there wasn't just one. That's when it hit everyone. This was never about one person. Never about one enemy. Never about one moment. It was about something bigger. Something layered. Something hidden behind multiple faces. People went back to the extended video one more time. Watching carefully. Slowing it down. Frame by frame. And in the very last visible moment before the screen cuts, something appears. Not in the foreground. Not obvious, but there. Symbol. Barely noticeable, but consistent with something found in his past content. A detail that had always been there, just never understood. After that, nothing. No new clips. No new messages. No new accounts. Everything stopped. As if the story had reached a point. It wasn't supposed to go beyond. Was it? A hidden warning. A message under pressure. A story that got too close to something real. Or was it something even more unsettling? A puzzle designed so no one could ever fully solve it. For weeks, people focused on the obvious. The missing audio. The shadow figure. The girlfriend's messages. But the smallest detail turned out to be the biggest clue. That symbol. Hidden in the final frame of the video. At first glance, it looked meaningless. Just a shape. Random mark. Easy to miss. But once someone matched it, everything changed. A user posted a side-by-side comparison. On one side, the symbol from the video. On the other, a nearly identical marking found in an old, forgotten photo tied to Yu Menglong. Not from a movie. Not from a photo shoot. But from something far less known. Behind-the-scenes image. People began digging into the origin of that photo. Metadata. Background details. Lighting angles. Until one thing became clear. The symbol wasn't random. It was part of a location. Real one. And when they traced it, it pointed to a place that shouldn't have mattered. Quiet, overlooked building. No fame. No attention. But somehow, connected to everything. Then came the post that changed everything. No username. No caption. Just numbers. Coordinates. First people thought it was fake. Another distraction. But when someone entered the coordinates into a map, the location matched the same area linked to the symbol. And suddenly, the internet had a destination. Curiosity turned into action. A few individuals claimed they visited the location. They didn't live stream it. They didn't document everything. But they shared enough. Photos of the exterior. Descriptions of the inside. And one detail stood out the most. It felt like someone had been there, recently. According to those who entered, the building wasn't abandoned. Not completely. There were signs of use. A single chair in the center of a room. A faint marks on the walls. Equipment that looked recently moved. And then, a symbol. Not just once, but repeated. Subtle. Faded. Almost like it wasn't meant to be noticed. Then came the moment that shook everyone. One of the visitors posted. I found the room. The same setup. The same lighting angle. The same emptiness. It looked almost identical to the room in the video. Except for one difference. There was no camera. If the video was recorded there, where was the recording device? No mounts. No wires. No setup. Nothing. Which led to one terrifying possibility. The camera was never meant to be found. Before leaving, one of them noticed something on the floor. Scratched into the surface. Not written. Not painted. Carved. 3 words. Stay quiet now. One by one, the people who claimed to visit the location went silent. No updates. No follow-ups. No explanations. Their accounts, still there, but inactive. At this point, the theory became unavoidable. The symbol led to a real place. The place matched the video. The video showed something controlled. The message was incomplete on purpose. Now, people who got too close stopped talking. Just when it seemed like everything had reached a dead end, a final message appeared. Short, simple, different from the others. You weren't supposed to find it that fast. No fear this time. No hesitation. Just one final line. Now you understand why he couldn't say everything. At this point, the mystery isn't just about Yu Menglong anymore. It's about something bigger. Something hidden behind fragments. A symbol. Location. Missing name. A controlled message. And one question that refuses to go away. If all of this was real, why was it never meant to be found? After the location was exposed, one warning kept repeating across forums. If you go, don't stay past 2 a.m. No one could explain why. No official reason. No confirmed incident. Just that time. 2 a.m. The same time mentioned before. The same time everything seemed to connect to. Eventually, a small group decided to test it. Not for views. Not for fame. But because they believed. If something is being hidden, it's probably still happening. They entered the building just before midnight. Cameras ready. Lights low. Everything recorded. First. Nothing. The footage shows empty rooms. Dust in the air. Faint echoes of footsteps. No movement. No sound. Just an abandoned space. But something felt off. One of them whispers. It's too quiet. This is where things begin. Faint noise. Not loud. Not clear. But consistent. Like something being moved. Somewhere deeper inside the building. They follow the sound. Slowly. Carefully. Until they reach a room. The same room from the video. A chair still there. Entered. Facing nothing. Or at least, that's what it looked like. They set up a camera. Pointed directly at the chair. And waited. At exactly 2:03 a.m. The air changes. Not visually. Not dramatically. But enough that one of them says, "Do you feel that?" The camera glitches. Just for a second. But when it stabilizes, something is different. Moved. Not by much. Just a few inches. But enough to be noticed. Enough to be impossible. This time it lasts longer. The screen distorts. Audio cuts in and out. And when it returns, the camera angle hasn't changed. The room hasn't changed. But something else has. In the same corner. The same position. As in the original video. Figure. Silent. Watching. First they think it's a person. Someone who entered without them noticing. But when they call out, no response, no movement, just presence. This is the part that never got fully explained. The audio captures something faint, distorted, but unmistakable. Voice, not from the group, not from any visible source. Saying, "You stayed." Everything breaks after that. Cameras shake, footsteps rush, voices overlap. Someone shouts, "We need to leave now." But before they exit, one of them turns back, just for a second, and points the camera at the chair. After the 2 a.m. footage spread, most people focused on the obvious. The figure in the chair. The voice saying "you stayed." The reappearance of the shadow. But one detail, almost no one noticed, because it lasted less than a second. A user slowed the footage down to its smallest unit, frame by frame, pixel by pixel, and at exactly frame 183, the screen changes. Not fully, not enough for casual viewers to see, but enough to reveal something hidden. For a split second the room disappears, replaced by something else. A different image, faint, layered, almost like it was placed behind the footage. When enhanced, it showed multiple figures, not one, not two, many, standing in the same room, in the same positions, facing the same direction. That's when everything finally made sense. Yu Menglong didn't say "they" because he didn't know who. He said "they" because there wasn't just one presence. There were many, watching, repeating, occupying the same space. A new theory emerged immediately. What if that room wasn't just a location? What if it was a loop? Place where moments repeat, where people enter, but don't fully leave. Where recordings aren't just messages, but fragments. Think about everything discovered so far. The chair always in the same position. The repeated symbol across different times. The missing camera. The sudden appearances. And most importantly, the figure in the final frame. Not entering, not moving, just suddenly existing. Then came the final twist. Face. Not confirmed publicly. Not officially announced. But discovered by those who had been watching closely. The voice from the messages matched someone. Someone who had appeared before, briefly, in the background of an old clip. Standing far behind Yu Menglong. Barely noticeable. She wasn't separate from the story. She wasn't just watching from the outside. She had been there. From the beginning. Inside the same space. Close enough to see everything. But never fully seen. Hidden in the last 2 a.m. footage. Right before the screen cuts. There's one more sound. So quiet it almost disappears. But when isolated, becomes clear. Two voices, not one. Voice 1 Yu Menglong. I tried to tell them. Voice 2 unknown. You already did. That second voice didn't sound like a threat. Didn't sound aggressive. It sounded calm. Certain. Almost like it had heard those words before. Many times. What if this wasn't a one-time event? What if every time the message is recorded, has already happened, and every time someone watches it, they're just seeing another version of the same moment?